slow pole. Para que vean que nos bajamos la bajada.
Drop that bag, never catch it again.
Mother Mary with Jesus Christ the Child. On the right, that's Constantine the Great, dedicating Constantinople to Mother Mary because she was the patron saint of Constantinople. And on the left, we have Justinian dedicating Hagia Sophia to Mother Mary and Jesus Christ the Child. So it's a dedicatory mosaic from 10th century. It's actually 1100 years old. It's intact.
Spice Bazaar. Chicken! Chicken! Our neighbors are coming to visit. This, after all, is the Erdogan suite.
Oh,
You know, presidential
we
suite.
have the Ataturk suite.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Thanks for removing your shoes, by the way.
Keeps going on and on forever. Oh my God! Look at the bathroom. I know. Isn't it beautiful? Do you have the same setup? Oh no, they're all different. Yeah, you'll have to come over and once Michael stops peeing. Yeah. Oh my God! It's a football field in here. Yeah. It's so beautiful.
This is the guest bedroom. Since you guys decided not to come, that's okay.
Can I see yours?
Yes. And then I said, so you're going to show me.
Three dots and three X's.
Must be.
Biraz küçülelim beyler.
It's like the color changes, just they don't change.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is so soft, it's not scratchy.
Petting it, it's all over.
Yeah.
All the way over there to there.
Flea market over here too. Got some stands.
Where's the bus?
Fort to the end of the 4th century BC. And the excavations began here just right after the foundation of the modern Turkish Republic. So these are quite new excavations. How about the theater? By the way, about the location.
Too much walking up. Yeah. Oh, video? Recording?
Finally found a spot for my Chevelle.
Tomorrow, the breakfast starts at 6:30. You don't have to be there at 6:30 a.m. and you don't have to look for a particular table. You can sit at any table. It's again open buffet.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما محمد إلا رسول قد خلت من قبله الرسل
Bunlar da sistemimizden almaydın abi daha Ankara'dan. Şimdi öyle bir anlaşma yaptık çünkü.
Entrepreneur.
Into a kind of an amphitheater almost. And they held wild animal fights and gladiatorial fights over here. In these sections, for example, there are many indicators that tell us He's so cute!
Where they built this thing, the very first settler, and that was a parakeet, similar to that, a big, larger, not the teeny ones that you see in cages so much. Yeah, they hunt them to the station. For the feathers.
That is hilarious.
Very cute.
Yeah.
You have to go barefoot, folks.
Pamukkale, Cotton Mountains.
We'll take a video so show the kids, the brats.
Go ahead, swim backwards.
Butterfly! Butterfly throat!
There's Grandpa drowning in the pool, rooftop pool. My son, yeah.
I'm looking at my calendar right now, looking at the conflicts
Yeah.
to say, when can I go down? And she's, like I said, she's working full time. I am not working full time. And I'm like, okay.
Hey there.
Yeah. 10 euros to go in the castle. Jeez. Marty says, look, they're bringing in the melons.
Long strides, you know? No doubt. He had three different words, folks. He was a Jew, he was a Roman citizen, and then later he became a Christian. So his life, I think, summarizes the life of the Eastern Mediterranean, that period in Eastern Mediterranean. So he came here twice. His first visit was, I think in 52 AD. He spent just a few weeks or maybe months here, and then he left. And he came again in 54 AD, and he stayed here probably till 57. Some say 2.5 years, some say 3 years. Of course, we don't know for sure. And he began to preach here. He would preach in the synagogue. There were several synagogues here, by the way. But then, they didn't want him to preach there. And then he was a tent maker. You can imagine him, preaching in the agora, because that was where many people would gather. And then he began to preach in the houses. So he made friends over here. The Christian community here was already founded by John, Saint John, and then he expanded that. But then after a while, there were many people who were not very happy about the things that he said. First of all, the biggest livelihood of Ephesus was the cult of Artemis, Ephesian Artemis. There was a temple of Artemis, and people would come here from all over the ancient world, from the Roman Empire. That was a central bank, that was a huge religious center, that was the main source of money, and they loved their Artemis, of course. It was a huge belief here. So there was a man called Demetrius. He was not very happy with St. Paul's, teachings, because Demetrius was the head of the guild that produced those little figurines of Artemis. So one day, he started a riot. Imagine that all along the streets of Ephesus, thousands of Ephesians came together, and they were shouting as, "Great is the Artemis of the Ephesians, great is the Artemis of Ephesians," So St. Paul wanted to confront the people at the theater, but, some say that some of the Roman soldiers, they arrested him in order to protect him from the mob, and then some say that it didn't happen, because of his friends, they helped him and they fled the city, and he never came back to Ephesus. Later, when he went to Rome, he wrote his letter to Ephesians. And then in around like few years after he left Ephesus, he was going to be executed in Rome. So, you know, it's quite interesting when you think about that, having all these early biblical figures here. And for many historians, it's thanks to St. Paul, Christianity became a religion independent of Judaism. So quite interesting in that respect as well. Just a little info. How about the church council? You know, the church council was held in 431 AD. Remember, I've been talking about these councils. I told you about them when I took you to Cappadocia as well. I told you about Arius, the first church council, Nicene council. So they just couldn't settle the dispute about the nature of Christ. You know, because, you know, that was, you know, a new concept and everybody had a different understanding of it. So there was this Patriarch of Constantinople, the capital of the empire, whose name was, but Patriarch is like the leader of the church, who was called Nestorius. According to Nestorius, Jesus Christ had two distinct natures, human and divine. They were not consubstantial. There was a huge distinction between them. Therefore, Mary, he offered, could not be the mother of God. She only gave birth to human Jesus. But this was against the Orthodox, the tenet of the main Orthodox church, you know, because according to the Orthodox church, Jesus possesses two natures inseparably united. He was consubstantial with God the Father. He was of the same substance. They used the word homoousios, of the same substance. In the end, he was excommunicated from the church. His opponent was Cyril of Alexandria. He was a very, very important churchman at that time, very influential. He won. And then, you know, Patriarch Nestorius was sent into exile, and he was also excommunicated from the church. But there are still Nestorian Christians. They are called Nestorian Christians because of the Patriarch. His name was Nestorius. We have them in Turkey, southeastern Turkey, eastern Turkey. They have them in India, folks. So many Nestorian Christians. Now they are all over the world. Remember when Prophet Muhammad was born in Arabic Peninsula, it was mainly Nestorian Christians over there. Probably that's why, you know, in the Holy Book of Quran, Jesus is seen as a prophet, as a human being, as a messenger of God, not as God himself. So, just a little story. Of course, we could talk about these kinds of things for days and days, and still it won't be enough. But these are the things that I like to share with you.
Oh yeah, I see that.
$5:40 a.m. This guy's late. Diabetes.